Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. Hot or cold, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with the Hangout and Highlight session with my guy, Coach Ryan Montalvo. Man, known this guy for a while. Blessed and fortunate to be on the same staff with him. Man, and we had some good times. And so, real good dude. Does great things for the profession, for kids, and just wanted to come on and highlight him and share his journey and share something special that just happened for him. And so first, man, thanks so much for taking the time to, yeah, a little some.
Yeah.
First, thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with me and be on the Success Chronicles.
Yeah, man. Anytime I can talk to Chip Baker, it's a good day. So
Let's go. Well, man, let's if you don't mind, just share with the audience like who you are and what it is you do, so they have an idea.
yeah, right now I'm the defense coordinator at Victoria West High School in South Texas, Coastal Bend area. Been around Houston a little bit. Been in Central Texas. Made some good friends, but I'm a football coach. I've coached powerlifting, coaching track. Got really lucky, found someone dumb enough to marry me, and she's a school counselor, and she does a heck of a job. And usually we get somewhere because of coaching stuff, and people don't ever want us to leave because they don't want to lose the school counselor because she does a great job. So, we're just blessed to be in a profession that impacts kids in a positive way, and hopefully giving back to next generation.
Oh yeah, you guys are definitely doing that. It's a great combo. Man, the 1-2 punch, any district.
Yeah,
We're
no,
blessed and fortunate
yeah,
to have you guys.
she's always high, on a higher pedestal everywhere we go. So she's like my meal ticket. Everybody's like, yeah, don't leave because we want to keep her around. So yeah,
It's good. I
but
love it, man. I
no,
love it.
she's incredible. She actually, I don't know if you knew this, but when we were at academy and I was doing power, well, she actually started doing it in Rockdale,
Hmm.
but she was assistant powerlifting coach with me, and so I'm sorry you like saw her yelling up at kids on Facebook and stuff, but we just did a good job, I guess, of getting a lot of kids out, and it was to a point where I was like, man, I'm kind of overwhelmed. If you want to come, help out, the girls will really like you because that's what we used to bait her is the girls powerlifters built a relationship with her, and eventually she was out there. She's calling boys up at state, and she's a heck of a. I'm telling you, everybody likes them some Macy Montalvo. So you
That's
should really be
awesome,
talking to
man.
her, if I'm being honest. But no, we're good.
No, no, definitely, no, definitely, man. It's a blessing to have that for sure, because
Yeah,
no significant success is achieved alone, and in this profession, you have to have, a special person to help take care of us. But like in your case, like she gets in the trenches.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's a real one. She lets us. We host like we're having defensive cookouts this year, and she was like, yeah, let's do it. Like she's all in. So
That's awesome, man.
that would be if I could give advice to any coach, it would be find a real one to go through life with because it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it makes a huge positive difference too.
1,000%.
Yeah. Well, you had some special acknowledgement that just happened here recently. Man, tell us about that.
Yeah, I got the THSCA Assistant Coach of the Year for our region, and I keep telling everybody this, but they don't give awards to bad teams. So I don't. It's a cool award to have your name on it, but I mean, I think like our staff is incredible. Like we had really good football players. Makes the whole coaching part a lot easier. Makes it a lot more fun, I'll tell you that. So having surrounded by good people and having good players, those two combinations usually leads to a lot of success. And Coach Boyce does a great job here at West. I've been fortunate to learn a lot from him. So, that's everybody, hey, congratulations. And they don't give awards to bad teams. There's a lot of coaches that work really hard to just get 2 or 3 wins a year. And so, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Excited to go to coaching school this year and get a plaque or whatever. But
That's cool, man.
yeah,
Congratulations on that. Love what you
appreciate
do.
it, man.
Yeah, love how you do what you do, and you know, I'll say it, man. I think you're very deserving of it, and so
Well,
happy
I
for
appreciate
you
it.
and your family, and to have that award, and also so happy for you guys to be in a great place with great people too. That's one thing
Absolutely.
in the profession. Like that's invaluable, man. Like to be in
Yeah.
great
No.
situations where you're with great people. It's so good. So happy for you guys on
Yeah.
that. But let's dive into maybe some coach talk or something, man, so we can give some gems to these people. How about that?
All right. I'm in.
Like I said, I had the privilege of working with you, and I think there's one couple things that I learned about you that, man, you're definitely a player's coach, right?
Yeah.
Definitely a player's coach. Strive to do things the right way, faith guided. Always looking for ways to learn, innovative.
Yes, sir.
Man, if there's maybe a coach that is seeking to do some of the things that you have, maybe 2 or 3 things that you think that has helped you be successful in the profession.
Well, I would say for sure, and I mean, I've been a part of great staffs, and I've been surrounded by a lot of great people, and so you know, I think one of the biggest things is relationships get overlooked sometimes. Like a lot of the scheme stuff, it doesn't really matter, but if you can build relationships with kids like that, they want to play hard for you. You know, you can have them run through a brick wall, even if what you're doing may not be very smart. And then, I think with the scheme side of it, always learning, not being stuck in your ways. Like I think the worst thing a coach could ever say is, "This is how we've always done it." This may have worked 3 years ago, but the game is ever changing, and it doesn't. I don't think it necessarily matters like what sport you're talking about. Track, football, basketball. I think you have to be a lifelong learner to be successful in the profession. I think there's people would call old school values that translate where hard work, toughness, all those things that you can learn, in an off season, in character development, like those things where we're using athletics to, be a gateway to help these kids in life. But I think, from the schematic side of it and like the progressive side of it, you have to be, a lifelong learner, going to clinics, not just to go hang out, but like I'm a defensive guy and all the clinics I go to, I'm usually going to the offensive stuff because I want to know, usually you can figure out what the flavor of the year is going to be. Like everybody's running GT Breed this year because, they saw 4 guys at coaching school talk about it. Just trying to, learn that side of it too, hopefully prepare me, down the road where I understand, both sides of the game. But, just trying to be always like trying to stay sharp, trying to say, reading books, those type of things where, you're always learning something new. I think if you get stagnant, that's where, it leaves air to get beat. But that would be the 2 biggest things is always be a lifelong learner and prioritize building relationships with kids. I think this is a ministry. Like I think
Yeah.
this is like coaches are at a higher calling because I don't. Most coaches aren't doing this to get to be a millionaire or anything like that. Like we ain't getting paid. So I think the biggest thing is being a positive influence on kids and using athletics to do that. But at the same time, like yeah, I'm freaking competitive. I want to win, and so that's where the lifelong learner part comes in, where you're setting your kids up to be successful because you're not just beating your head against the wall. How these offensive guys are nowadays. They'll read your safety and throw it off this guy off this side, and you got to defend everything now. So just trying to figure it all out, but that's part of it. And then another thing I would say is not trying to do it all by yourself. Um, I think, yes, I'm a coordinator, but I trust the guys that are on our staff a lot. Like, I mean, we empower. Like, I want them to be the head coach of their position, and I know you've heard that before. Like, that's that's the go-to, right? I want to be the head coach of the linebackers. I want our corners guy to be the head coach of the corners, where they have ownership in it too, where they don't feel like it's just one voice talking. So on a Friday night, everybody has opinions, everybody's bought into what we're doing. I think that helps kids be successful because the coaches are more bought in. So they're trying to do their best to win. We're all in it together. It brings the kids into it. So
No doubt. And those
that
are
would be
things
the
that,
big ones for me.
yeah, those are things that like you you can see. You don't even have to say those things, but you can see
Yeah,
those things.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, interactions like how kids interact with their coaches tells me a lot. Like, do they like being around their coaches? If coaches are kid magnets. Like that's what you want, as many kid magnets around as possible, where kids gravitate to them. They want to be around them. Even if they're annoying. Like I don't think anybody likes being around freshman kids right now because they, TikTok and all over there. They could be so annoying, but gosh, I love them. The they're all call them all D1 rage baiters because they're all trying to get under each other's skins. But gosh, they say some funny stuff. So that's part of it. Building relationships with kids where they want to joke around with you, but at the same time they respect you, where they're going to do what you ask them to do.
yeah. So good, man. I know you're not much of a talk about me guy, but not at all.
No, no, not at all.
Hence the fact that it's taken us this long to do this. But
Yeah,
what
we
are
ran out
what
of
are
good coaches to talk to. Is what it was. Well
no
dried
man.
up.
Man, I've been chasing you all over Texas, man, trying to get you on the Success Chronicles.
That's funny. Yeah,
Had that joker in the same office with me. Man, come
yeah,
on,
no doubt.
man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. What are three things, like just reflecting on the journey? What are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Hmm. Um, Having a relationship with Christ, number one. Um, Finding a great partner, number two, and looking at being a coach as not like I have to, but I get to. I get to go to work every day. I get to, you know, impact kids in a positive way. Like I think those three things are forefront. I also like how it all like works together too. Like it's what's pretty special about it. Like I would say, like how being a coach, like I said earlier, was like a ministry. Like I feel like coaches are what helped me, get through some hard times in my life. And, just being able to be on that side of it now, I saw, great coaches' wives when I was growing up. And now, I would put mine up against the best of them. It's just how it all works together. I think that's carried with us place to place we've been, just trying to be a positive impact, you know, keeping Christ at the center of what we do. And,
Yeah,
trying to keep my wife happy all the time. That's the hardest victory sometimes, got to stay
that's
on her
good.
good side.
Yeah, that's a good move right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, got to hit on success. What's your definition of success?
Oh man, when you get that text from a kid that you coached 10 years ago, that, hey, I want you. I had one recently. He's just graduated from the police academy and still like thought of me to text me to tell me like how he's doing good in life. Like I think that like obviously wins and losses, and people look at your resume and say like that's their definition of success when you're trying to get another coaching opportunity, or you're trying to do in the profession. It always comes down to win or losses. But I think my definition of success is like, did I do a good job with the time I had with the people I was around? Did I leave a mark in a positive way? Um, that would, I mean, my personal definition of success is that, and I think, place to place, I feel like we've done a good job of building relationships that are not, transactional where I only wanted to talk to you if you were helping me win games.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot, I mean, I still talk to kids at every school I've been at just because, I feel like we built a good relationship with them and, they know we care about them past, did they score a touchdown or make a tackle? So, I mean, I would say just being a positive impact, that would be my definition of success. Leaving a mark, you know, at the end of it all, you're going to have to answer for a lot of things. And I think, I just hope I was a good and faithful servant.
Come on. So good. Well, and I was being interviewed on this podcast one time, and the guy got towards the end and he hit me with this. He was like, man, a lot of times, in an interview, you get asked the questions, but you never get to ask questions. Right. So he
Yeah.
asked me, he's like, man, do you have any questions that you want to ask me? Right. So I'm gonna throw that one at you, man. Based off the journey, man, you have anything that you want to ask me about or hit me with on this journey?
Oh, man. It's like the Magic Genie Three Wishes thing here talking to you. Uh,
That
if I
boy
could ask
said
Chip
30
Baker any question,
wishes.
what would it be?
Let's go.
Man, you've been in and out of a lot of schools,
Mhm.
and I know you've seen, schools that have been successful, schools that maybe not have been as successful.
Mhm.
What would be your big takeaway of like the programs that have been successful? Like, what are they doing that's like, what's the secret sauce? What are they doing that's, maybe helping their kids get over the hump? Or,
Yeah.
a lot of places have a lot of the same kids, but, some people are able to produce, you know, more wins or whatnot. You
Yeah.
know, what are you seeing that's different that these schools are doing?
I think, man, first off, that's a great question. But I think a couple things. I think the first thing is something that you do very well at is building relationships with kids, right? And we all heard, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And so when you
Right.
can build relationships with kids, love on kids, um, let them know that they're the number one priority, and making sure that they grow to be successful, not just football players, number 12. Like, I want you to be a successful man or young lady, right? I think that's
Right.
the
Right.
first thing. Just pouring into them what they know without a shadow of a doubt, and because of that, there's accountability too, right? Like, I'm gonna
Sure.
coach you hard because I care about you. I'm not gonna let you make mistakes, right? I'm not gonna let you fail. Here's the expectations, and I'm gonna teach you how to get and meet those expectations. So I think that's the first thing. But then the second thing is just player led leadership.
Mm.
I think that was the big
Yeah.
deal. It's crazy you asked that because I actually asked a similar question to Coach Fannin in Franklin just like a couple of days ago. I was there. I spoke to several groups in Franklin ISD, and I was like, hey,
Yeah.
like what's kind of been like the secret sauce like for you guys' success? And he said like, well, I asked him like, has you think that because we're working on some leadership stuff, I asked him, you think that like the
Yeah.
player led, leadership is like has been. He's like, he didn't even let me finish. Without a doubt, right?
Yeah.
And when those guys take ownership in it, like so many things are taken care of and you work, and that's why I love too. When we work together, like Oak Ridge with Coach Rush, you have different levels,
Yeah.
position leaders, team leaders, group leadership group for your
Yeah.
team, then, leaders amongst all sports that are, and so you can't
Yeah.
develop enough great leaders. You can't get them around enough great people to pour into them. Right. And so I think that those are
Right.
the two things that really have hit me, caring for kids and developing the leaders, to where they are bought in and have ownership. And really at the end of the day, we can teach them those things, but they got to go make the plays.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. That's why, this whole thing. Yeah. I got an award, but they don't give awards to bad teams. So,
I love
Yeah, I
that.
mean, we had really good players. I'll say it, but
Yeah.
we had some really good players.
Yeah.
So
I heard this one too. You can throw this one in the mix. I heard this a long time ago. This was when coach that had Jamal Charles when he was in high school. I had an opportunity to hear him speak. It was like right after Jamal Charles senior year. I mean, he was like, I mean, Mr. Everything. And people were
yeah,
asking, what about this, this scheme, y'all ran this toss, you ran this camp. He's like, hey, I'm gonna just tell you, like people think it's like X's and O's, but it's really about the Larrys and the Joes.
yeah,
and
absolutely.
and that dude right there, it didn't matter what we call, he gonna go score.
Yep,
So
yeah. It's like being the safeties coach or the outside linebackers coach, and you have Joseph Osai. Yeah, we're in cover four, but they got about 2 seconds to get rid of it.
that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And most
yeah,
times they are not.
yeah. No, yeah. Don't bail too fast because they got to get rid of it pretty fast.
That's
Yeah,
good. Well, man, in closing, I just wanted to get you on, chop it up with you, really highlight you, man. Love who
absolutely.
you are, love what you do, love how you do what you do. Just wanted to show you some love, and just give you some encouragement to just keep doing your thing. It's making a huge impact.
Yeah, man. I'm glad the best kept secret's out, and you're going around doing this all over the place, man. Because we
Appreciate
were
it.
selfish. We got you all to ourselves when we were at Oak Ridge. So now everybody's getting some Chip Baker. So that's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
man. It's been a
Happy
huge
for
blessing
you.
for sure. Thank you so much. Been a huge
Yes,
blessing
sir.
to just be around, and it's the same but different in different places. It
No
ain't
doubt.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still doing what you're doing, just impacting more people.
Yes, sir. Well, again, thank you,
So,
man. Good luck to you. And thank you guys for
yes, sir.
checking out this session. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.